Yo, Hammer fans, welcome to HammeredHead. We got an awesome guy today. It's Durge with Swoop Bike. Look how f***ing cool he looks. That's awesome. From the animated Clone Wars series. I've never been the biggest fan of that series, but these action figures are awesome. Really cool card backs. Really awesome portrayals of them. He's like not the cartoony version, he's a little more realistic. Swoop Bike looks really sweet. Some assembly required, so that'll be fun. This picture's kind of silly, but goddamn, that figure looks sweet. Includes blaster pistols, blaster rifle, battle lance, and backpack. Yeah, so this is that scene from the Clone Wars where he and all those IG droids start jousting with Obi-Wan and the clones, which I always thought was incredibly goofy, but it made for a really cool figure. Look at that, that's an awesome shot. Durge with Swoop Bike. A century before the Clone Wars, this 2,000-year-old bounty hunter went into hibernation to recuperate after being tortured by Mandalorians. Awakening shortly after the Battle of Geonosis, Durge learns that the only Mandalorians still alive are the clone troopers, which were created from Mandalorian Jango Fett. Durge joins the Confederacy to enact his revenge upon Jango Fett's clones. His Swoop Bike is a high-performance craft with exceptional speed and challenges even the most skilled pilots. Simple vehicles, they achieve their performance through a combination of repulsor lift and turbo thrust engines. That's metal. This guy has such a cool backstory. Got some pretty cool other action figures in this line. So Durge has been showing up a little bit in the recent Bounty Hunter comics. He's kind of silly in there, but it's fun. He's a good character. Let's see what he looks like. Here's everything out of the box. I can already tell that this figure is a winner. Everything that comes with it just looks fantastic. So much detail. Starting with the figure. Look at that. The head sculpt just looks creepy. A lot of paint all the way around. Even like in his eye slits there. Then his torso, he's got like the mythosaur painted on. Shoulder decals. Both arms have really elaborate sculpting on his armor and like little munitions that are included. The pistols are pretty cool. That's like a unique design. I don't think we've seen that with other figures. He has these tubes coming off like his belt down into his legs, I guess to power like the lower half of his armor. And then these clawed feet. No peg holes. But cool designs on the knees. That's so cool. He's got this little jetpack. The paint is really basic. It's just all one silver. But the sculpting is insane. For just a one-off figure, they put a lot of detail into this backpack, jetpack thing. And then it fits on him really nicely. And this hole right under his hood there. To be honest, they probably could have just sculpted this on. I don't know why you'd ever take it off. But it fits really nicely on him. Looks really great. The pistols go right into the holsters. Nice and snug. He's got two more weapons. First up is the lance. It's pretty basic, not a lot of detail, but the three prongs look nice. And he can hold this, or it can go on the swoop. There we go. So that looks pretty badass. And then last up is the blaster rifle. Just kind of a cool sculpt. This sling has these like little pegs in it, and then if you look on the other side, there's a hole. You can bring the sling around and connect it in there to actually make like a loop, but it doesn't stay very well. Like there's not a lot holding it in. It pops out really easy. But he can hold it kind of okay. It's a little loose in his hand too. But just standing there, he looks really cool. So the figure's got a surprising amount of articulation. He's got ball jointed head, ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, swivel wrists, ball joint waist, swivel legs, and then ball jointed knee, and then no articulation in the feet. The only thing I've really noticed is that when you move his legs, these tubes pop out of his waist, but they go right back in, so it's not a big deal. And just for size comparison, he does tower over standard size figures, so he is sufficiently intimidating for a character of his stature. The Swoop comes in 2 pieces. It's pretty easy to assemble, just the front and the back. The front has these little pegs here, connect the holes in the back. Just kind of push it in there. There we go. Oh. Gonna finagle it a little bit. And there you go. Once you get it attached, it's pretty solid to lay in there. It's not going anywhere. And just like the figure, the bike has a crazy amount of detail. For starters, the sculpt is just really unique. But look at those paint apps. There's markings all over it. It's a really nice shade of green. This control panel is painted. The seat has like a nice texture to it. It's a really nice shade of white on the handlebars. It's got like a little bag here. He's got 2 guns mounted on the front. And then the very tip is spiked. It's got its own little paint apps too. Really cool. There's like a little tooth looking thing coming down here. Then in the back there are these exhaust pipes that are a really cool shade of gray. Just overall a really amazing job on the bike. The only complaint I'd have if I really wanted to pick something are these 2 holes up here where we connected the pieces. I think that might be if you want to disassemble it, you could like kind of stick something in there and squeeze the pegs out. I'm not too sure. I think it looks more silly than anything, but I mean, come on, the rest of the bike is really cool, so I can't really complain. So now we'll throw Durge on the bike, see what he looks like. Fortunately, he is pretty articulated, which makes it not too difficult. Grab the handlebar. God. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. Look at that. That's gangster. He's ready to go. He's got a holster on the side for the blaster rifle. Slide that in there. It's a little loose, but not bad. And then the lance can attach to either side on the front gun, which is also kind of loose, but it works. Look at that. He's ready for business. And there you have it. That's Durge with Swoop Bike. This is an A-tier pickup. Super articulate figure, incredible amounts of detail both on the figure and the Swoop Bike. So if you like Durge either as a separatist or just as a bounty hunter, this is a fantastic figure to have. You got to get him. But let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to follow on YouTube and Instagram. Check out the Patreon page. And don't forget, stay hammered.